Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the No ID Podcast. This is season 7. I don't know what episode we're going into, but I have here a friend since I'll probably say Tanner Creek. I met him Tanner Creek, reconnected back at Northview High School on the baseball team. I wasn't that good. I rode the bench. I got better towards the end. We're not going to that anyway. This guy right here is a rapper, entrepreneur, a hell of a father. I joke on his brother a lot, but I'm gonna leave Trevor alone on this one. He ain't gonna get no strays this time. I got Adam Kendrick. Some of y'all know him as Bomb in the Building. Adam Bomb, say hello to the people.
Hey, what's up, man? Bomb in the building. I'm right here. Thanks for having me, Rome. I'm glad we finally get to sit down and chop it up. Cause you're right, man. We've known each other for a long time, and obviously, you were there from the beginning when I was using different names that we won't talk about. But yeah, man, it's been a long time coming, man. Definitely. Thanks for having me.
Man, appreciate you. I think we all go through that name shit when we go through as a creative. I don't know how many names I've had since I've been in comedy, and even now, like, I'm gonna change it, and I was like, too late now. Shit, can't do it.
Well, I think it's one of those things of finding yourself and trying to figure out who you are. You know what I'm saying? When you have an idea that you want to be an architect or a comedian or a musician, like you go through this thing of how am I going to represent myself, And in my case, at first, I was just going to be Adam Kendrick. Like, why can't I be that? And everybody was like, nah, man, you got to have a stage name. You got to have a gimmick. I was like, man, we're not going to do the gimmicky thing. But I understood. Maybe something to pep it up a little bit, make it a little more cool, I guess, as they say. And it's actually a funny story, dude. I remember I was recording with a buddy of mine, Jay Smooth, out of Ocean View. And what song was it? I think it was a Drake Pound Cake cover we were doing. It was. And I remember I did the verse, go in the booth, and at the end of the verse, I was like, bomb! And I come out, and like everybody in the studio is staring at me. And I'm like, yo, what? I got something on my face? What's going on? And Smooth was like, dude, listen to this. And he played it back for me. And he was like, that's it, man. Like, that's it. Like, anytime you spaz on a record, you just got to drop a bomb at the end of it. And, yo, we off and running. And since then, it's been Adam Bomb,
Shit, I went by, I started off as Rome Davis. I don't go by Jerome. I go by Rome Davis. Then I went by Jerome. Then I tried to go by Romy Rome. Then I went by my first two initials, which is JR. So I said, it's JR the comic or JR the comedian. They saying junior comic and all that stuff. I said, all right, scratch that. Going by my middle name, Rashad. Then I was like, you know what? Rome is a name that I've been going by for years. It's easy to spell. It's easy to pronounce. Let's just stick with Rome Davis.
Yeah.
So, but the Instagram names, I know people get pissed about that. Yes, I've changed my Instagram name more than Diddy has changed his name. All right. We ain't gonna leave it at that shit. I don't know how many names I didn't have, but this name has to stick though, because the Rome X Diddy has to stick, because sign came to me about a couple of months ago. I had a friend that passed away, and he used to call me Uncle Rome or Rome Diddy. And I was like, and the memory showed up on my phone. I was like, yeah, I think Rome Diddy gonna have to stick with it, because some of my friends in my later years on this earth have came and said, Rome Diddy. I was like, just stick with it. Just rock with Rome Diddy. That's the name. Rome is an X and then it's Diddy. So you'll see that on Instagram, TikTok, Fanbase, Mighty Networks. You'll just see Rome Diddy all across. And then the podcast page was not even a podcast. I'm just using it as a platform. It's No ID Media TV. It went from like No ID Podcast, No ID Vibes, No ID Show. Now it's just No ID Media TV, where you'll get like comedy. You'll get the interviews. You'll get skits. Yeah, you'll get it all on No ID Media TV. It's just a little brand change. But we stuck with this now. So we good.
I haven't gone, like I said, once the bomb thing happened, dude, I was kind of stuck with that. And that's kind of when Bomb in the Building became a thing. But one of the things that I ran into was that the DJs and like the business people, like they weren't fucking with the whole Bomb in the Building idea. Like I would have DJs that would play the record and would be like, yo, man, I don't know if you can't say that on a public forum, or you can't just be screaming that shit out. And at that point, for me, it was like, well, I mean, that's PR. You know, I'm not out here trying to hurt nobody. It was a good thing for me that was a talking point. You know, what I could and couldn't do, and you know me, Rome. When somebody says I can't do anything, I'm like, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go with that one. Oh man. But no, it's a funny thing. I'm gonna tell the story, yo. So this is back, oh man, maybe fresh out of high school, I think we were. We went to a club one night. Can't remember what club it was. And it was when I was going through my little name phase, trying to figure out who I was, who Adam the artist was gonna be. Yeah, you know what I'm about to say.
I sure do. I know what you're about to say.
We go to the club, man. You know, we're hanging out, drinking. You know, girls are coming up, man. Hey, we're talking. What's your name? What's your name? And I'll never forget it. I told her Rex. That's what I was going. She looked at me like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "All right, so that one's not gonna be it. We won't go with that one." Oh man, but it's a feeling out process, man. Like you gotta try different things to figure out what works, dude. Like, hey, listen, you know, Adam is not afraid to bump his head, dude. Like I'm gonna try every avenue. If I fucking hit a wall, I'm back up and I'm on to the next thing. And I think you gotta be willing to take those lumps, though, man. Like you gotta be willing to take those lumps. If you don't try it, you don't know what's gonna work. And but that one is always funny. I think. Oh man, correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm telling on myself now. But I think there's still a song on YouTube somewhere under the Rex name. I might have to find it because that'll be cool.
I think you sent that shit to me like a couple of years, bro.
Dude,
I think.
Oh, you were one of the first ones to get a demo tape. This was before the Exile demo tape, bro. You got one of the first ones, and I remember we were listening to it, and you were like, "Yeah, you know, this is good." But it was kind of one of the whole, I don't know, which is understandable, you know. But yeah, man, back then it was all about figuring out what worked, what the sound was gonna be, how I was gonna present myself, and it's still a learning curve, dude. Like you're learning and figuring this thing out the entire time, whether it be putting out music, doing shows, being on stage, talking to people. You're constantly evolving to the next phase of whatever it is you're trying to do.
You do. It's the next phase. Like I gotta let you know this too. When I graduated 2007. You came out right after me, right?
So yeah. Oh wait. Yep.
Yeah. Oh wait. So I'm keeping it real with you. I went through a phase where it's like I was progressing and I started seeing myself separate from the people that I have known since like elementary school, middle school, high school, same crew I was hanging out with, because I guess it's like a betterment. You know, I always say like when you get older, your circle starts to get smaller. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. When you get out of high school, you don't really have those same high school friends like you do because either your mentality changed or you just grow apart, whatever.
Right.
So Adam, the mentality never changed with Adam. Adam was always like my dog. You know what I mean? Like A1, because there was a lot of people I was starting to cut off, and I just started seeing like the true essence of people. Even now that I'm doing stand up, and I've been doing this joint like 3 years. It's been a rough 3 years too, but it's been a good 3 years, and I started seeing it. And I'm like, man, regardless of where Adam lived at, you know, I still can call him and say Gene Check or yeah, man. So I appreciate you, man. So that's being real.
Dude, and like I said, I mean, on that topic, man, for me, it's always been, my circle got really small really fast. Because once I decided, and my pops was a musician. Like, this shit didn't come out of the blue. You know what I mean? Like, my pops used to always say, like, yo, I'm surprised that none of my children got that music gift, you know? And next thing you know, once the baseball thing fell apart, I started picking up music. But what I learned is once I started it, people weren't accepting of me being the rapper, the singer, the stage performer. Like they had a hard time like wrapping their head around that. And so I just started cutting them off because I didn't want any of that negative energy. And the people that I kept close were ones that not only were supportive, but like in a weird way could make me smile. Like, you know what I mean? Like hanging out with you was always something because you kept everyone laughing. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the type of energy that I wanted to be around. And then you were doing your thing. Like there's tons of people that I'm close with still to this day that are doing their own thing. It may not be anything, you know, crazy, like trying to be a rapper or a comedian or be in front of people, but they're doing their thing and they're themselves and supportive of you because if it makes you happy, they're happy. And that's one of my rules that I say. It's like, look, I don't care. I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to talk down on anyone. Whatever it is that you want to do, if it makes you happy, if it makes you feel good, I support it. You know what I mean? And
Fact.
that's I'll tell you a story, man. One of the things I learned is that not everybody is meant for you. Because there's people that I grew up with years ago, man. You know, like I'm from Norview. Like I know what the hood is like. Every day that was what you were going outside to. I had a good family thing at home. But like I said, Pops always raised us to understand that, you can't stay cooped up in this house. You're going to have to go out in the world. And unfortunately, when I stepped outside, I was in the streets. And one of the things was you have a bunch of buddies and, we wanted to do stuff. I didn't want to stay on the block all the time. I didn't. There was a big world out there that I wanted to explore. So one night, we're out there not doing shit. And I'm like, hey, man, let's go do something. Let's go to a club downtown. Let's do something, anything. Let's just get up out of here. Everybody's like, yeah, let's go. I was like, okay, we're going to shoot to the crib. Everybody going to get dressed. Meet me back here. I had the car. You know how it is in the hood, dude. There's usually one or two people that got vehicles. So if you're going somewhere, one of y'all is probably driving. But we get back, and I ask everyone before we get in the car, I'm like, hey, everybody got money to get into the club? Does everybody got money to have a good night? Like, we're going out, I'm trying to have a good time. Is everybody cool with it? Everybody's like, yeah, we're good. We got it. We're good. Cool. Get in the car. And you know how far of a drive it is to get out to the strip, yo. It ain't no hop, skip, and a jump. Like, it's a little ways. So we get all the way out there, and I'll never forget it. We're in line to get into the club. I get up to the bouncer, and of course, he's 6'8", huge, towering over me. I give my money, give my ID. I go to walk in the door. I turn around, and all of my homies are like there just with their hands up. Like, what? They didn't have any money. So they had lied to me. I'm like, oh okay. And the crazy thing is it was a lesson that I learned, but it's something that I'm glad I did. I paid for everybody that night. I paid to get into the club. I paid for drinks. We had a phenomenal time. One of the best nights of my life. I will admit that. And then I never talked to them again. Like, because to me, that was a setup. And that's not the type of person that I want to be around. Don't get me wrong. There are people that when you're down, I got you. Like, you don't have something, let me know. I'll help you out. Because I know if I was in the same position, they would help me out the same way. But these particular folks, it wasn't like that. If I didn't have something, then I just didn't have it. And I couldn't ask nobody for shit. And that's just, and through this process of me becoming a businessman, becoming an entrepreneur, trying to make everything pop like that, I need people that, one, see me for what I'm doing and see the value in it. Yo, Adam, if you need some help, just let me know. That means a lot to me. It's not always about money. It's just about knowing that, hey, if I'm having a bad day, I can call up Rome and be like, hey, Rome, let me holler at you for a second. I just need to get some shit off my chest. Like, that shit's invaluable to me, man.
And we all know I'm gonna say some stupid shit to get your man off.
Yeah, man, you need that.
You need a distraction. Yeah, you need distractions, man.
Definitely.
Because this entrepreneur shit, this media realm, this entrepreneurship, this shit is, you learn so much along the way because you're not looking for like the instant gratification.
Yes.
People don't see like the hard work that you put in for your music or your logos. Or they don't see like the hard work that you put in. All they see is, oh, okay, Adam is doing his shit, or Rome is out there doing his comedy media. I can't even say podcast. I gotta start saying talk show now because I don't want to put myself in the realm. Yeah, they don't see like that result, but they don't see like the shit on the back end. We was touching on this last night when we was talking. It was like they don't see like the, man, I got $50 to my name, bro, but I gotta pay this monthly subscription for this podcast to jump off, and that's $30. I'm down to 20. I gotta get some work out the way, or I gotta go to this open mic that's 2 hours away, and I'm probably gonna get 5 minutes, or I gotta go do this quick little collab, man. And Buddy done stood me up, and I'm blowing his line up, and he's like, "Oh, my phone was off," or I saved you on my phone to somebody else, or it went to my spam. I'm like, you got an iPhone, ain't no spam.
Yeah.
iPhone.
Yeah. No,
they don't see that shit.
That's they don't see it, man. A lot of people don't understand what happens behind the scenes to make something successful. And like I said, I've got light years to go. But the thing that keeps me kind of grounded and focused is that I enjoy everything that goes into the music, the art, the photography. Like, everything involving Atom Bomb Creative Designs, like I enjoy doing now. Even the paperwork, the emails, like paying those subscriptions, not having a dollar to your name, but knowing that, hey, this thing can float for another month, another 2 months. You understand what I'm saying? Like, and people miss that part, man. They do want the instant gratifications. Well, the gratifications understand that you are building something that is yours. You know what I'm saying? And that's what when I'm talking to people now about contracts, about venues, about things like that. And it's weird that I'm having to tell folks that have been in business for years that, hey, like, this is a business for me, and you need to operate as if that is the case. Like, you're not running over me or any of my people. Like, we work too hard, we enjoy what we're doing, and we want everybody to benefit off of it. I'm not out to rob anyone. You know what I mean? I'm not out to try to get over on anybody. I'm out to continue this process of creating my art because it's what I enjoy doing. Like I said, every part of it I enjoy doing, and furthering that is why I kind of move the way I move. But yeah, man, there's days where you don't have shit. You know, you don't have a dollar in your pocket because you had to buy more product, because you had to pay for studio time, you had to set up a venue, you had to pay for a conference call with some big shot. It's just part of it. But like I said, if you don't love it, you're gonna quit. Like, you have to enjoy everything that comes with it. Like, I take pride when I know that, hey, if it comes down to it and I don't have a penny in my pocket, all this stuff is still floating. My house, my daughter, like the business, like everything. There's a difference between being broke and being broke because everything's paid. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to explain to someone that doesn't know what it's like for everything to be on you and be independent. Like, independent means that everything falls on your plate. Okay, if you don't get that playlist you want, if you don't get that show you want, or that feature you want, or your album doesn't come out, you got to look at you, because there's nobody else there to help. I for years, and you know my backstory, dude. Like, I've been a single father for a long time. It's just been me and my daughter, and one of the things that happened,
Princess Nova.
Yeah, man, Princess Nova, man, she's it. But once I realized that was going to be my life going forward, I had to become really good at time management. And it almost happened overnight, because I realized that in order to pay the bills, to get her to where she needs to be, to do the father stuff when I get home, give her time. Like, I didn't get to start working on my business and my thing, doing what I love to do, until like 10 o'clock at night. And in order to get everything done, you're up till 2 a.m. Well, guess what? Adam still carries a hard hat and a lunchbox to work every day. So I'm going to bed at 2. I got to be up at 4 to get to where I need to go to get the bills paid. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that is dedication. Like, that is hard work. Like, I don't judge no one, and I don't talk down on anyone, but I'm sorry. I will look anyone in the face and say, you don't work harder than me. This work day doesn't start when I get to put on a set of headphones. The work day doesn't start when I get to sit down and start drawing. My work day starts from the time the sun comes up. And I include all that: work, family, fatherhood, all that is into it. And most of y'all are just sitting around in bed by fucking 10 o'clock. Like, nah, like 10 o'clock is when I'm starting my work day. You know what I mean? So I definitely give you a shout out, man, because the way you move has always been an inspiration. I think it's super cool when I meet people that understand the work ethic, stuff that goes in on the back end. That it keeps me going, because I always think, there's somebody that's doing more than me, and I don't want to be outworked.
Man, this shit right here, this comedy grind, for people that don't know, when you're a comedian, you just starting off, you don't get weekend shows. You don't get the Friday, Saturday night show. You get the Monday through Thursday shits. Meaning, like, I was working one job, I was working at the bank, and I had to be to work like 8:45. All right, cool. I had no problem with staying out late. I switched jobs. I go work for the government. I gotta be to work at 6 o'clock in the morning. So when you coming home from these like open mics, that's on like a Monday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday or a Thursday, and you gotta get up at 4:30. Make sure you at the building by at least 6 o'clock, or on a good day 6:15, depending on if your manager there or not. You got to put in that grind. And there's been times, man, I've been on my lunch break with the one eye open, sleep on my lunch break, trying to get the Z's in, because I'm working. And then, the podcast, most people don't know this. My podcast was started because I had a badass show. I bombed. I was like, fuck this. I got to get to something else. I hooked up with 3 other friends. We started a podcast, last 2 episodes. I don't talk to one of those 3 friends. And I've been doing my own thing. And then with this media realm, these interviews, bro, I've been fucking stood up. I had to do research. I just now left the Zoom recording because one, is too expensive. And then another thing, your video and your audio are fucked up. And then buying the wrong equipment, then figuring out the right equipment, and then, you know, the pandemic happened, the lockdown. You know, I didn't do any shows for like 4 months. Then I was doing virtual shows, which are dope because you ain't got to, put no drawers on, you know.
Sit there
Get out there,
in these rooms. Is that it?
sit there in my undies and go do a 5-10 minute set and kill it, and just don't get up for a standing ovation.
Hey,
You know,
don't get no more comfortable than that.
yeah. But if anything like that, this lockdown shit then taught me, man, you better find another avenue somewhere around. And whether you're doing a virtual show, and most of us will look down on a virtual show. I don't. It's fucking stupid. Is to look down on some shit like money is involved in them Zoom shows, them VR shows. Them shits got money involved in, and it's networking. Because bro, I've networked with people in China, Japan, all over the world. I done did virtual shows and auditions everywhere, and my name rung bells in these streets because I decided to do virtual shows. And now we back on the unlockdown. We might be back on them. Now we got the microphone. So I got microphone covers. I bought a microphone when I go to these shows and I wear them. People look at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, nah, you don't understand. Like this shit right here, this is like the most powerful. The microphone is the most powerful thing in the world. It amplifies your voice. Yeah. So whether you're in music or stand up or whatever you're doing, this shit right here will help you tell a story and reach avenues that you thought that you could never reach. And coming up in Norview or Warview, whatever they call it, I really didn't pay any attention to the rough shit. I really could care less about it. We never seen it until I never really seen it until we actually fucking graduated. And then you keep reading the news. Yeah, you read the news. You got somebody like, damn, I went to school with him.
Yeah, man.
I went to school with her. And they just ghost.
For me, it's like the stage performance is so big because people get to see you live, and that's one of the things that I miss. I haven't done a show since COVID hit, man, and a lot of that has to do with it was just me and my daughter, man. So I'm super envious of people that are able to move about like that. Like I can't tell you how many times people have reached out and like trying to explain to him, like, dude, I don't have a babysitter. Like I said, this was struggle time, dude. I'm talking like worried about whether we was gonna eat that night or not. So the shows really wasn't popping like that. But now it's like you want it and you want to get out in front of people because then you can promote the brand, you can network a lot. But I think it's a little different when you talk about like hip hop and the rap scenes and music, man. Networking is a lot harder than I think people quite understand because it's so dog eat dog, man. It's like everybody feels like they're in competition with everyone, and so it's kind of hard to explain. Like, no, dude, like you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Like we can both benefit from that, but nobody wants to be one up by anyone. I tell everybody all the time, like I'm not in competition with anyone. Like I'm in competition with me because I know that if I want to continue this, like my next shit has to be better than my last shit. You know what I mean? So it's just a lot of work and networking. You don't need a bunch of people. When people say networking, you don't need a bunch of people. Like I've got a very small team, man. I got a graphic designer, Angelina Aragon. She's an artist, photographer. She does a lot. She's pretty much the backbone of that Bomb Creative Designs. I have an illustrator out of Okinawa, Mr. Miyagi. He doesn't even speak English, so when we talk, it's like Google Translate a lot. He does a lot of my drawings. He does all my artwork for the singles. And then my engineer, Tom Whiting, I've worked with him for years, man. And it took a long time for us to get a working relationship to where he understood how I was, like my flow. I mean, because I'd be in the booth doing whatever and I mess up and I'm like, all right, go back, let's do it. And I want it to happen instantly, but he's had to explain to me like, that's not how it works. Like we pinpoint it where you want me to go, I'll get back. And over the years, obviously, we formed that bond to where now he knows, like he's on it before I am. He knows what needs to stay in a record. He knows what needs to come out of a record. And like I said, 3, 4, maybe 5 people that are really with you, that understand the mission, that are willing to go out on a limb and understand that when you're coming up, you're not going to have a bunch of money. You're not going to have money to feed all these people, and they deserve it. Like I tell my people all the time, like, look, y'all deserve an obscene amount of money that I can't pay at the moment. But I guarantee you, the second that we get there, y'all will get all the credit. Y'all will get every dollar that y'all deserve, because if it wasn't for other people, even you, Rome, just being able to sit here and talk with you, like that's a big deal. Like there are people that are willing to help, but it's sometimes you can't give them the monetary value that they deserve. And so you got to be grateful, you got to be thankful, and you got to be open to having a couple doors shut in your face, man. I can't tell you how many times I've called DJs or record labels or A&Rs, and they just, slam the door in my face, for whatever reason. Who knows? We're pretty good about presenting what we do, how we do it, and how good we are at it. Like I said, everybody I work with is, I would consider top of their fear, and but getting in these rooms, whether it be through showcases, whether it be through any type of networking, it is a big deal. But like I said, if somebody's not on page with you, doesn't see your vision, isn't willing to move how you know that your business, your entity needs to move. Because that's one of the things that I've been explaining to a lot of these labels is that, look, dude, I just need the money. I need the money so that I can market this the way it needs to be. Okay, I know that you have specific ideas of how to market someone, but I'm not trying to be a little baby or a little Drake. Like, I'm trying to be Adam Bomb. Okay, I can tell you how I want people to receive me and how everybody along the way have received me in that way. You understand what I'm saying? Being authentic is of the utmost importance in everything, whether it be art, comedy. Like, if everyone knows that you're getting up on stage and you're putting on the front, it's not going to hit like it's supposed to,
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I love the chit chats, man. I love just talking about shit that's not work, that's not business, Like I'm a grown ass man, but I still enjoy my cartoons. I still enjoy my stuff that made me. Like that's what makes me good at what I do, is because I still have that little bit of childhood in me that lets me draw on that creative inspiration, those spaces that maybe not everybody still has. But yeah, man, I'm totally with you about getting up on stage and how hard it is, the back end of the work, and reaching out to people, man. You got to do it. You got to do it.
Yeah, but this is like comedy is it's like golf or tennis. You're the only person there on the mic, and man, I don't know how many doors been shut in my face for stand up, and I was like, I think after one competition that I tried to do, well, it exposed like cliques and the groups and like just the assholeness of everything. I was like, well, fuck it. If they not gonna fuck with me here, I go get them to knock on my door. So I just started going. I said, man, fuck, I'm gonna just start doing these like showcases. And shout out to Michael Kyle, because getting him on the show and everybody just like, man, how you get him up? Being on his morning show. It started with me doing a podcast interview. And I created No ID to network with other people, whether it be comedians, musicians, of course, porn stars or sex workers or whatever the hell is going to come across this screen to see their journey, their story, their viewpoint. And he's like, yeah, he put me on. Mm-hmm. And that was a year ago. And I still use that video for submissions to festivals. I use that same video for submission. I just submitted to AGT, America's Got Talent. I use that same one now for the Kenan Thompson thing, and it got me on. So for him to put me up there, man, was just something that was amazing to me. He did not have to do any of that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And for him to do that, he told me, him and D Militant, before D Militant passed, told me about networking, how this comedy game is going to be. And they always say, like, if you funny, they're not going to really fuck with you.
Because you're competition.
Exactly. Your competition. Your fucking competition.
Yeah, dude. It's weird to me, man, because I have had the hardest time of just getting people on board with what this is. And I always come back to it's a competition thing. I'm not out to compete with anyone. I've had very few genuine folks that have even given me game along the way. That's why, like, it's hard for somebody to talk to me if you've never done anything to help at all. You know what I mean? I do got to give a shout out, man. DJ VIP, he was Nipsey Hussle's tour DJ, and he's the A&R over at All Money and Records. He's been forthcoming from the jump with me, dude. Just telling me, what he liked, what he didn't like, things I should do, things I shouldn't do, ways to move. And that's all it takes. It's just that back and forth, that type of relationship to where, and you know me, Rome, like, it's sometimes when I talk to people, like, I'm very straightforward, because if I care, I'm going to tell you what you need to know and not what you want to hear, because I care. I don't want anyone to look bad. I don't want anyone to get, smacked upside the head with life because they weren't prepared. You know what I'm saying? And I wish I had more people that were willing to say, hey, Adam, why don't you try this? Why don't you do less of that? Because all of that stuff is information. My pops used to tell me growing up, like, one of the things that you're going to have to do in life is talk to as many people as you can, take in that information, and you decide what's real and what's bullshit. You know what I mean? So I have no problem talking to anyone. I will let you talk. I'm not going to, rebuke a bunch of shit. I'm just going to let you talk, and you'll tell me who you are, your credentials, your experience, your knowledge, just through, us communicating. And I know it's hard and when it comes to rap, because everybody it's grabs in the bucket thing, man. Like, I promise you there's enough food to go around. Like, one of the things that I'm doing now is I'm trying to link up and collaborate with as many of the dope artists that I can, just to show, like, yo, man, like, we need collaborative albums. We need albums with all of, the dope people on it. Like, why? Explain to me why so-and-so isn't working with so-and-so. Like, explain to me why, I want to hear MC rapper on a drill beat, but he keeps giving me the R&B stuff. Like, somebody, like, help him out and say, hey, dude, you can still do that, but give me a record like this, because you've got fans, new fans that want to hear that. And that's the type of information that I'm constantly looking for. The next thing that I can do to take what I'm doing to the next level. I'm in a really good spot now where we are putting out records like crazy. Little insider trading, man. We've got records that we'll be putting out for the next year and a half. Like, it's crazy, because I had fans that texted me years ago when I was going through my rough stuff with Nova, and were like, hey, why haven't you given me any music? And this is when nobody knew me. There was only like maybe 25 people that knew I did music, but those 25 people were fans, were followers, were people that gave a shit about what I was doing and did something for them. And just them saying, hey, man, well, you got to give me some more music. I want some more music. That always stuck with me, And so I worked my ass off to get to the point to where, hey, once this ball gets rolling, it's never going to stop. We're so far ahead that I got something for whatever. If the time calls for an R&B record, yo, Bomb's coming with it. If you need a drill record, hey, Bomb's coming with it. Like, I want to be versatile and be able to put stuff out at a rapid pace. Like, how do we expect as artists, as comedians, as anyone to blow up, to get people to know who we are, to get people to come out and enjoy what we do, if we're not giving it to them at a high volume in the beginning? None of us are Kanye West yet. Like, okay, so you can't go missing for years, drop a project, and think that it's gonna fucking do crazy numbers. Right? No, and then the other thing is, like, I talk to people all the time. Like, I've been talking to a bunch of local DJs that are like, my question is, why are we dropping albums? Like, nobody knows who any of us are for the most part. Like, people aren't getting through 3 tracks. You think they're going to listen to a 12-track album of someone they've never heard before? Like, why can't I get a song from this person every month, or a song from this person every 2 months? Like, I'm confused. Like, I know that I'm new, and I know that when it comes to this business stuff, I'm definitely learning as I go. But one thing that I know for sure is that I have to give my people what they want, stay relevant, stay open, stay accessible. We work really hard to come up with merch lines, stickers, art, music, and to give it at a pace that, oh, well, Adam's not going anywhere. You know what I mean? And I'm such a fan of a lot of people, you know, artists in Virginia, man. I'm a huge fan of Classic Mark B. Me and him,
Okay.
spoiler alert, we got something coming this month that is just crazy. That dude's amazing with what he does.
I found out about Classic Mark B through my homeboy uh Keith with a that's what he refers to himself as. And then I heard y'all had a song with it. Y'all like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's
That's
coming.
like that's that VA connection.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's funny. I'll tell you a story, man. This is when, like I said, back around the same time I was going through the name shit, dude.
Rex.
Trevor was trying to hook me up with as many local people that had studios, man. Because at the time I was recording at like this Christian like church studio. He had no idea how to mix rap, how to mix like just the type of bounce that I had. So, you know, he hooks up with Mark B and, yo, I'm gonna bring Adam to the studio. We're gonna do some stuff tonight. And he was like, cool. So we get over there, and of course we're outside smoking a little bit, start freestyling. I'm killing it, dude. I am just killing it with the freestyle in the car, high as who knows what. We get out the car, we go in, hop on the mic, we start working. And Rome, when I tell you that I sounded like trash, oh Lord, it was bad. It was so bad, man. And but the crazy thing was, the point of this story is that afterwards I went up to Mark B and he'll tell you this, and I was like, hey, dude, so you know, I'd like to come back to the studio, try this thing again, you know, get this thing right. And he looked at me and he was like, yo, he didn't say shit, but he was like, yo, is this dude serious? Like, but it was like, I was at that point, I wasn't going to be stopped like this, because when I was in the car, when I was at my home studio, like I was hearing what I was doing and I knew how good it was. So a simple slip up, a simple fall was not going to deter what I was doing. Like, and I feel like a lot of people don't go through those moments. I don't want them to, but man, if you can get through it, like you're unstoppable. You know, like very few people can go through that type of a letdown and still get up tomorrow and say, "Hey, I'm going to keep doing this." You know, that's the dedication, that's the work ethic. And like I said, I'm super thankful for moments like that, as painful as they were, because they made me as determined, as focused as I am today.
Same. Like I had a show in Petersburg yesterday. When this interview comes out, it's about a while ago. But I go up to Petersburg. It's about an hour and 40 minutes from where I live at in Chesapeake. They said, man, I'm gonna give you 10 minutes. All right, I done 10, 15, a half hour before. I don't know if it was the heat. I don't know if it was my nerves. I don't know if it was the crowd. I feel like I wasn't hitting, but I was hitting. But I forgot 4 minutes of my 10-minute set.
Yeah, we've been through that.
and I was like, damn, I've been doing this 3 years. You would expect me to forget it, you know, my first couple of months. But no, I forgot 4 minutes of my set. But everybody's like, man, you did good. And you know, when people tell you did good, and your man be like, man, I did horrible. But if somebody DM me and was like, man, you're funny as fuck. I was like, yeah, I appreciate it. But I'm at the ride home. I'm like, the ride home was hour 47 minutes, or hour and a half, because I ain't had no traffic. And I was like, yo, I just forgot 4 minutes of my set. I usually do 10 minutes. I've done 10 minutes with no problem. And then I'm independent, and I just want to shout you out as an independent artist and another guy. If you guys don't know who I'm about to shout out, you need to look his song up. It's Quentin Moore. Quentin Moore has been putting on music before. He was before Silk Sonic. He has a amazing catalog. I don't know how many albums he got. La Russell is another one, but let me put on Quentin Moore right quick. This man did a remix of Soul Glow from Coming to America and sound better than the Soul Glow commercial. This man has put out a song called BFU. And if you don't know what BFU stands for, it stands for Bitch Fuck You. And he is blown up. Adam has put out some bangers. Even when he was Rex, he put out some bangers. And the reason I supported him for doing them, because most people don't have the balls or the fortitude to do what we do. Most people can't do what we do. You know, and when we go out there to record or write or perform or collaborate, it's just us and our name. right?
Yep.
It's just us by ourselves going out there. We're reaching out to whoever's putting on the show, doing a showcase, whoever's uh got a big following. We might try and hit them up to see if we can collab, or we may not even want to collab. We may just want them to hear our shit, and they be like, "Yeah, I'll listen to it," and they'll leave your ass on scene. I'm like, "What? Like you send them a message a couple of weeks like, yeah, what you think?" It's just on scene, but then you see these motherfuckers out there in public, and they just they mouth just drop.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
You
No,
know.
I'll tell you a story. So obviously the last show I did before COVID hit, man, and it got real crazy. It was a kind of a showcase, a talent show, a competition for Icon Radio out here in Phoenix, and I went to the show. And honestly, like I've gone into the whole showcase thing for years with an idea of going not to win some type of prize money, not to get some type of trophy. It's always been to, all right, Adam, you need to work on the act, work on the performance, figure out what's going to work and what's not going to work. And that particular show was the first time where I did the first set. The first half of the set was I did it with vocals in the background. So I just rapped over my verse. But I wanted to try, okay, like Adam, you can do this. Like you can do all these songs without, the main verse in it. Like give it a shot. So I took the last record, and it just happened to be a record, Detonate. Detonate was on the Hail Princess Nova EP. It's on YouTube right now. Adam Baum Creative Designs on YouTube. You can find a bunch of the old stuff. Not quite as far back as Rex, but you can find a lot of the old freestyles, like me just getting busy, man. Me just going into the studio and enjoying rapping on anything that's hot, anything that's dope. But anyway, so I got to that part of the show when I was going to do Detonate Live, and I did it, man. I did it from front to back, and I mean, once I finished, the crowd went crazy, dude. I got random people coming up and wanting to dap me up, and that was when I realized, like, that's why you do the showcases. It's to figure out what's going to work, what's going to be good, and which is why now when I'm talking, to these promoters and these venues, it's like, look, dude, this is how I have to do my entire show. Which means I have to do rehearsals, I have to do prep time, I have to do sound checks, I have to do all that stuff. It costs money. Like I can bring people to your venue that want to hear me. But like I said, if you want me to work my ass off to make sure that your venue has a good night and I have a good show, there's going to have to be some type of money somewhere. You know what I mean? We got to work out something that's business. And I've bumped into a lot of issues where people are upset with the fact that you want to do business. Like, I mean, I feel bad for people that come in and they're like just buying dreams. Like they're oh well, I'm gonna get on stage and I'm gonna rap for a few minutes and then my life's gonna change. Like that's not how it works, man. It's a process, and once you start working it as a business, they have to talk to you as if you're running a business. But yeah, dude, that was a big thing for me is figuring out how to do the shows, what part of the show I wanted to excel in. There's some records that I won't do without the background vocals just because they're mixed a little differently. It just depends. But like I said, all that is always evolving. It's always evolving. I'm sure when you do your stand-ups, man, like you may have a great joke in this set and scrap every other joke and make a whole new set for the next time. Like we're trying to find that perfect representation of what we're bringing to the audience,
I just went through some shit with the jokes. I write every time I do a set, I continuously write 5 minutes and I add on to the 5 minutes of the 5 minutes of the 5 minutes. 2 weeks ago, because I write everything down, I write my jokes down in a yellow legal pads. It's got to be 8.5 by 11. Don't ask why specifically, but it's got to be 8.5 by 11. I think I heard it from Seinfeld one time, who was one of my favorite comedians. And I was like, I got to keep writing. I bought composition books, ain't put shit in them. I done bought textbook type books and tried to write shit and it didn't work. And I've had jokes that I've scrapped. I've had jokes that I put out there and I thought was killing, but they didn't. And that's when I had to figure out my lane. Am I going to be a storyteller, a joke teller, or I'm going to be what they consider hybrid?
What would you consider yourself to be?
I'm hybrid.
Yeah.
Like, I'll give you a story, but it's going to be jokes as well too inside of it. Like it's gonna be little bits and callbacks, and as a artist of comedy, you know, for me, I had to watch different some people comedians. Like, I don't watch stand up. I don't watch a lot of other comedians. I want them to influence me. I watch fucking stand up on stand up. I don't have Netflix. For you guys out there that have Netflix, I don't have it. I won't get it. It's too expensive. I don't use it. And they only put like some of the bigger comedians out there. But if you have a YouTube, you got Don't Tell Comedy, you got Hush Comedy, you have Dry Bar Comedy, Helium Comedy Studios, we got Tubi. They cater more towards black creatives, black comedians that you've probably heard of. Like, well, damn, why doesn't this person have a stand-up special when this shit is literally sitting on Tubi? And I'll watch the same as one special on Tubi that I will watch consistently, and I mean religiously. It is Kevin Hart's Heart of the City, and it's Carlos Miller from the 85 South Show. It's a 30-minute bit. I've watched all 30 minutes several times. I watched it on mute, boom, to see how he controls the crowd. I watched it when it wasn't on mute. And if you listen to this, Carlos, you are definitely in my top 10. So, and I'm not even bullshitting you. 10 minutes. And he was one of the first people that I watched, him and Michael Collier, that taught me about the smooth jazz of comedy. So if anybody's listened to me talk, if anybody's ever listened to me perform, it's just like I'm talking to you on the mic. You don't know if I'm telling a joke because it's smooth. It's like I'm just having a fucking conversation with you. I'm not forcing a joke on you. I'm not forcing any of these bits on you. I'm just literally just talking to you like, hey, man, I got crazy family members. I got a dating life that's in shambles. I don't believe in social media. I don't respect the fact that the Juneteenth ice cream was a great value brand. And we get that. I don't respect why Tyler Perry was trying to break up the Will Smith and Chris Rock thing. Like, what Madea movie did Tyler Perry produce that was Oscar worthy? Like, I'm trying to figure this shit out, and people are like, what is he talking? I'm like, yo, this is like, I don't respect. It's just me. Tyler Perry, I'm sorry, but that's the truth. I think your Madea movies need to be a little bit better. I'm sorry, bro. I think I credit your work. But as far as the message in some of these movies, you did set a blueprint, and now a lot of these motherfuckers trying to do what you're doing, and they can't do it. Now you see all these fucking church plays popping up, and then next thing you know, they end up on BET or Tubi or YouTube, and somebody's trying to sell it, and it's got a dumbest title like "Who Fried the Chicken Leg but Burnt the Quarters onto it" or some shit like that. People, stay in your fucking lane, people, okay? Just because one person did it, doesn't that mean that you're going to have to follow them in their lanes? Create your own fucking lane. You understand me? Adam is not trying to be a fucking Nipsey Hussle or a Jay-Z. He's trying to be Adam. That's it.
Yeah, dude. And see, and that's my thing. Like, I'll let you in on a secret, dude. I don't listen to much music anymore, man. Unfortunately, once let me rephrase that. I don't listen to much mainstream music anymore. One, because I don't want to be influenced by any particular sound. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. Like, I came up, man. If somebody says who has influenced me as like what I listen to most as a young cat, I would say, NSYNC, Michael Jackson, and Eminem. Like, what kind of combination is that? You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be a crazy outcome. But I feel like a lot of people are listening to what's going on to the mainstream radios and what's coming out by popping artists and are trying to replicate that. And I never wanted to get into that. I listen to more local stuff, underground stuff, because these are people that I can reach out and touch. Like, I can reach out and say, hey, man, I got this one song. You'd be perfect on it. Like, let's do that. I'm really committed in building Atom Bomb as an entity, as a brand, as an artist. And so I don't want to get tripped up trying to replicate whatever's on the Billboard 100. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of people, they fall into the trap of trying to be the next whatever. But then at the same time, what I've come across in a lot of the underground stuff is everybody is trying to pile up into the same lane. Like I get it. You got your street cats, you got your R&B guys, you got your hybrid dudes. Like, but for some reason they all want to be in one spot. I'm like, nah, dude, there's a spot for you, there's a spot for you, there's a spot for you, but all y'all are trying to jam up in one location. Nobody's gonna get hurt. You know what I'm saying? Which is back to my point about me trying to reach out to different artists and working with a lot of people on different types of records so that I can, I guess, highlight what they're really good at, man. There are some really great artists in Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Phoenix, Tucson, really great artists that are just kind of going through the motions with it. And like I said, I'm nobody's savior. I don't have all the answers. Like, I'm trying to get it like everybody else. But I have ideas that I'm willing to test out. You know what I mean? And so far, like, everything's been great. You know, I just did an OG record with Big Doobie, Led to the OG. It's on all streaming platforms right now, and he's a monster, dude. He's super amazing, talented with the raps, with the bars. Like, he comes at you hard, like every time he's on the mic, man. It's crazy. Like, me and my engineer Tom were in there while he was recording, and he went in there like Yosemite Sam, dude. He was just fucking shooting in all directions, and I'm like, Tom's like, yo, man, does he know like we're on the same team? I said, yo, this is just him. Let him do his thing. We're good. And the record came out great. You know, the record came out great. I want people that feature on my records to be the highlight. Like, I know what I'm going to bring to a record. Like, everybody knows if you're Adam Bomb on a record, like, he's coming with him. I got my own unique sound, my own unique bounce. Like you're gonna get the Adam Bomb experience. But what makes me feel really good is when I can hear somebody else just go crazy on a record that I helped produce and put together. You know what I mean? Like, that's when I really want to hang my hat on that. And it's just amazing, dude, because I know that I'm so different. Like, we're so different. I get to sit in the studio with some of these cats after, you know, we get done recording, and we just chop it up, man. Just like we're doing now, man. We just talk about, you know, music, talk about life, talk about the industry. We talk about everything, and you kind of get a different idea of some of these people when they're so open about something other than them being an artist. You know, like, I try to tell everybody all the time, like, be more than just whatever it is you're doing. You know, you want to be a person. You want to be, you know, I'm a father. You know, I still work a 9-to-5 job. You know, like, shout out to SMI, like, shout out to the Southwest Metal Smiths and Eddie, Johnny, Louis, Alvin, Monty, like, all those guys. Because when it was just me and Nova, I was able to go to them and say, hey, man, I don't want to risk my job, but I'm a single parent. I've got to be able to move around. I've got to be able to come and go when I please, and I don't want to worry about where my paycheck's going to come to because I had to go pick up my daughter from daycare or something like that. And, you know, luckily enough that they, you know, were very, very straightforward with me and said, hey, it's my job to worry about the business. It's your job to worry about your family. And that has been a big part of why I've been able to be successful in building this business to what it is now, you know?
Yeah, facts. Because these jobs don't give a fuck.
See, and I wish people, but it's hard though, Ron, man. It's hard to walk into anywhere and, like, put your demands on the table. Like, look, this is what I have to offer. This is who I am. This is the situation that I'm in. Are you good with it or not? And if they're not, you have to be able to say no. Like, that's the thing with all these contracts that I'm getting now, that they just want to, like, I've learned now what people mean when they say selling your soul, because they want everything. They want everything. They want creative control. They want, you know, ownership of any material you produce. And I get it. For someone that doesn't have anything, that's got nothing, that's, you know, still in the hood, that can't pay his bills, like, somebody waving 20 grand in their face, man, you think that's a come up, you know, that'll get you to the next day. But it's like, I've been fortunate enough to be able to say no. Like, you know, you're not getting this for anything less than, you know, market value. And that's how I've been rocking, man. I want more people to be able to not only enjoy what they're doing, whatever it is, you know, but understand that, hey, man, it's the process. Being able to create it is what is the valuable thing. And I don't want anybody to be able to tell me when I can release music, like, how they want me to make music. Like, no. Like, I grew up watching my dad just enjoy being in his studio by himself, creating whatever he wanted to create. And he is such an inspiration to me. Like, that's sensei. He's everything. Because if I ever, even when I was going through it, trying to figure out scared shitless, man, Ron, we talked about it, dude. I was scared to death when I realized it was just me and Nova, man. I didn't have a woman. I didn't have a family that I could, you know, I didn't have mom and dad that I could take her to when shit got hard. Like, it was just like, Adam, if you don't get it done, it doesn't get done. Like, if you don't find daycare, if you don't find nannies, if you don't find like a way to make this machine all run cohesively, then it's going to crumble, and there's a little girl that's going to pay the price. You know, like me and you, we could live off table strategy, man. We could thug it out. We could grind it and be fine. But when you got a young one, it's not fair to them. And my pops was always one that kind of kept me level headed. Like, yo, you can't give up. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. And that's why I finally, like I said, I finally got into a place where I can release music on a regular basis. I can record on a regular basis. You know, I can draw. I can communicate with all these different people on a regular basis because of the groundwork that I put in behind the scenes.
Before we close out, I'm gonna ask 2 questions.
What's up?
I don't see if you're gonna remember this one. It just popped in my head. When we was on the baseball team with each other, do you remember that time I tried to slap box and fight the whole football team in the locker room that time?
Oh yeah, you did quite a few times, bro. you were that guy. We had your back, though. We had your back. Like I said, we were probably gonna get stomped out, but we were all going down together. Like, don't you weren't by yourself, dude.
Man, I remember I took the whole blame for Coach Abbott was talking to me. I was like, man, they started the shit. He's like, don't go in there picking up no fight. I was ready, boy.
Man, they knew what it was. And see, that's one of the things that I learned along the way. This is a music thing. But sometimes you gotta be willing to fight, dude. Like, sometimes you gotta be willing to chest up, and win or lose. It's not about win or losing, but like, yo, you're not finna pump nobody over here. That ain't happening. Like, no sir. Like, it ain't happening.
I remember that shit so bad. It just popped in my head, yo.
Well, man, we're on that topic, dude. There's so many stories that I can tell about, like, the process up to here. Like, we've talked about it, man. I was in a motorcycle club for years.
I remember that.
Yeah, dude. One of the things that because I've always wanted to challenge, man. Like, I've never been the tallest guy, clearly. And it's just, you think you're tough, you think you're hard, you think that you can do all this shit. Well, I tell you what, go hang out with the giants and tell me how that works, man. So you don't know what it's like to stand and have to fucking square up with some dude that's like 6'5" and 300 pounds and like gets a joy out of getting punched in the face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But one of the stories is we were at a party one night, and I was prospecting at the time. And the other prospects were around us, and we were talking about the fact that I was doing music. And this is when the Tech One mixtape came out. This is like my first official mixtape. Tech One. It was on Big League Music and Music. And we were talking about it. And one of the members came up. He was a Hell's Angel. He came up, and one of the prospects said, "Hey, man, do you know Adam does music?" And I was like, "Fuck." And he's like, "Whoa, you do music? Really? Well, you got anything I can hear?" And I remember saying to myself, I was like, "Fuck." Because I had a CD in my pocket. I was like, oh, damn it. So he pulled up his fucking bike. He popped the CD into his bike and played it. And, dude, they partied to the Tech One mixtape all night. And numerous guys came up to me and were like, hey, man, listen, this is good. This is good. And for me, like, I've never been starstruck about people in the industry. Like, they're mad talented, but we all are humans. We all bleed red. But when the quote-unquote, bad guys or whatever, like, came up to me and said, hey, dude, whatever you're doing, it's good. We fuck with it. Keep doing it. Like, that was a real recognized real moment for me. And that was the part in my story to where you can't stop this anymore. Like, that at that point, it was like, this is me. This is 100% me. I'm doing this, And, but it's like I said, you got to put yourself out there, man. That whole part of my life is I wish I could write a book, man. I wish I could tell more stories about, what happened in that time. But that was when I think Adam became a man, because it was, they're different, man. Biker clubs do shit differently, and it's all on your word. And if your word ain't shit, you ain't shit. And, if you're not willing to fucking, get down in the dirt with your brothers and your people around you, then you're no good. So,
facts.
And that helped me with the music, man. Like I said, that helped me with the music.
Yeah, I think my story similar to that. I was coming from a show off Graham Street at Comedy and Cats, and I parked my car. You never should park your car in certain spots, but shit, I was like, fuck, I'm gonna be over there for about an hour. I should be all right. Car ain't get towed. Bruh, I come outside, I'm walking, I see 2 cars filled with people, and then they got people all around the car, and my car is right beside them 2 cars. And I was like, Lord, bro, I just did a show. I'm about to get. I don't want to. I don't need to go through this shit. I was like, Lord, I'm so scared. I talked to every God. I talked to Allah. I talked to Buddha. I talked to Jesus Christ. I pulled up. I was like, Lord, like,
All
I was like,
everybody.
I was so scared, man. I was like, Lord, and I said, they out there doing that shit. They ain't got nothing to do. And you know, when you from Norfolk, you hear somebody say, "Where the holes at?" It's time to leave the vicinity.
Time to go. Time to go.
It's time to go. It's time to leave. And they tell you, "Hey, bro, you good? You need to leave that area. Where the holes at? Nah, you need to dip." So, so I'm leaving. I'm walking like I'm walking. I said, I'm like, should I press the panic button? Should I press the remote start? Like, what should I do? I get up to there. They said, "What up, fool?" I said, me? He said, "Yeah, what you coming?" I said, "Man, I just did a show at Comedy Cats." "What kind of show?" "So I'm a comedian, man. I'm trying to branch off." "You funny?" I was like, "Yeah, I think so." He said, "Are you sure you're funny?" I was like, "Bro, I think I'm hilarious. You know, I try open mic shit. You know, I'm trying it out." "What's your YouTube? Tell us a joke." I said, "I can't do jokes on the spot, but I give you my YouTube though." I'm like look up Rome Davis. Da. Bro, they looked up, they started laughing. I said, "Yo, comedy saved my life." Cause I don't know, I thought I was getting my ass towed up that day. I was like, Lord, I said, "Oh God." I knew I was a comedian then, cause I said, "Lord, that shit saved my life." Cause bro, I knew they was on some shit. I heard it. I drive a Mustang, so I'm like, Lord, I know they. Oh Lord, please God, don't let me get my ass whooped. And I know you can't judge a book, but they young boys. I'm in my 30s. I can't fight like that no more. I said, Lord God, please God. I was like Buddha, Allah, everybody. Boy, whew.
Depends on how many of them it is. If we going down swinging, I tell people all the time, like, listen, I don't care what goes on, as long as we going down swinging, we good. Like, cause I'll take a whooping and be like, yo, man, he fought his ass off, but you're not just gonna stomp nobody out or nobody I'm with me, and that's no, we're not doing that. I know better than that. But yeah, man, it's just a lot of crazy stuff, dude.
So if anybody wants to follow you, how do they follow you or get in contact with you?
Best way to get me is bombinthebuilding.com. Man, everything runs through bombinthebuilding.com. Through there, you can get my Instagram, you can get my YouTube. Like I said, there's tons of info. Shops open. If you want to work, you know, we got features, we got art, we've got logos, we've got photography. Like, I really wanted to be a one-stop shop for anybody that wants to be in the creative space and do it for an affordable price. You know what I mean? Like, not try to gouge anybody. But definitely bombinthebuilding.com is where you can find me and everything you want to know about Adam Bomb as a whole.
Definitely. And if you guys need to follow me, no, I don't have a website, but follow me on all social media platforms at Rome with an X and Diddy, and follow the show at No ID Media TV. And then click that link in that bio, like, share, comment, subscribe. Do the same thing for Adam as well, too. We need more content, you know.
Definitely. Just
support us.
Yeah, man. I just put out the mission statement is latest single. It's out on all streaming platforms, man. That's a big one for us. It's finally letting everyone know just how we're moving over here and the type of a family dynamic that we got for everybody that works with us, everybody that works for us. Just that the music is dope. Everything else that we do is great. Like, definitely lock in. And if I can help anybody do anything, man, like I said, I'm a regular person like everybody else. Anybody can do any of this stuff. So, you know, let's band together and let's get some stuff done, yo.
Amen. Hey, man, thank you, Adam, for coming through. It's been a long time coming, but we right here. I want to know if I can get your brother Trevor up here.
Yo, I would love it. You should do it, man. He can tell you some stuff too, dude. He can tell you some things. Trevor's got a very interesting story, man. Definitely.
Yeah, I should fuck with him like I used to back in high school. I should fuck with him, but Trevor got big now, so I don't Trevor got big now.
He's a bruiser, all right. That is definitely the case. I'll give him that. For sure.
Adam, I appreciate you, bro. You know we're gonna be chopping it up pretty soon, bro.
Cool, man. Thanks for having me, dude. I appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you, man. Signing off, y'all. People, make sure y'all follow Bomb in the Building. Go to the website. Make sure you also click the link in my bios and follow on all platforms. Like, share, comment, subscribe, rate, repost, tell a friend. By all means, we need to support these content creators, entertainers, comedians, whatever realm they in right now. Because when we make it big, we can always say that, hey, this person looked out for us.
That's right, man. Bomb out, man. Appreciate it, dude.
Appreciate it.